Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys the best builds and how to play the Divine Beast's Giganotosaurus. So, anyway, if you guys are new here, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps me out an absolute ton, and yeah, let's just whiz straight through this and get onto the video. Alright, so starting off with the normal build. You know, this is just the basic non-specialized build that most players will use if you end up using DB Giga. Unfortunately, not a lot of servers have it, but the ones that do, and you guys might want to play it, this is the build you should use. So, you want to use these bites, regular bite and flesh graze. These are super good, and I'll explain why you don't use the others. Sanguine Snap, it's an okay bite, bites pretty quick, does good damage and bleed. However, you need to stack it. It's a waste of time, especially when you're playing a dinosaur so slow as Giga. Same speed as Rex, but it can slow itself down. With bonuses. Then Gouging Bite, pretty good. It's good, but like you have to charge it up. It's on a 6-second cooldown. You basically have to spam it to keep that bleed resistance lowering and the target's movement speed lowering. You basically have to just spam this to keep that up. It's not worth the debuff, which is why I use Flesh Graze with the default bite. Now, Flesh Graze takes away 20 stamina from the target, gives you health, and gives a bleed debuff to Tyrannosaurs, Sauropods, Amphibious Hadrosaurs, and not Amphibious Hadrosaurs, like Amphibious Dinosaurs and Hadrosaurs, and also smaller Sauropods, which overall I think makes it a lot better, especially since it does good damage and bleed by itself. Yes, it's on a long cooldown, but it's worth it if you hit it. It can be a win or lose type ability. Not always, but in a lot of cases. Next up for the front limb, next up for senses, you want to put Southern Tyrant. The 15% armor for 5% speed, only in combat. It's worth it. It's better than Lone Hunter and Blood Soaked. Ignore Bloodlust for now, I'll get into that later. Front limb, you want to put Smash. Gives you reduced incoming damage by 6%, stacks up to 2 times. If you don't know what this is fantastic. Basically, it means I take 12% less damage if I have both stacks. Now, the stack itself, or the status effect it gives you, is only about a couple of seconds long, so you do need to keep using the ability, but it's worth it. It does good damage. It's very much worth it, you know? Like, it's such a good ability. It also has a pretty decent amount of drag. Not like game-breaking amounts, but it has a good enough amount of drag where, you know, it's pretty usable. You can definitely cheese a little bit with it. Then for diets, these don't matter too much. I just put Gourmand on, lets me eat anything, don't need to drink as much. It's just quality of life. Next up, we have hides. Now, a lot of people will use forward momentum because you get more speed and less run stamina. Wow! And more knockback. Fantastic. However, a lot of people don't understand how good acceleration is. Let me just show you. So this is me accelerating with it on. Yeah, no, it's painful. It's painful. And here is me without it. Yeah, the difference is night and day. You basically accelerate 40% slower with it. You get a bit more speed, but it's not worth it. I personally would use any of these three. If you want the same speed as T-Rex, but less bleed and venom, then use Resilient. If you want to turn really well, but have pretty bad speed, use Enduring Tyrant. And then Gritty Scales just gives you more stamina recovery, and lowers your speed by only 8%. It's not too much. This is the one I go for, by the way. It is just fantastic. I love it. Next up, we have got Legs, Accelerator and Stomp. No reason to not have both of these. They're fantastic. And Back Limb. So, the Back Limb is a little confusing, because I would always use Stout. You know, take less knockback and less bone break, or more bone break healing. Really good. However, the Enraged Charge recently got a update, so it actually lasts a bit longer, because before it lasted like a couple of seconds. It wasn't very good. But now, once you use it, you can get going, and it goes for a pretty good amount of time, you know? Like, look at that. It's pretty good. It is now worth it. I would say that's worth it. It's good damage, good knockback, and it goes for a pretty good amount of, like, distance. I would say that's worth it. Next up, Tail Attack. You know what to do. Just use the Tail Attack. And Raging Bellow increases attack by 15% and knockback resistance by 45%. Very good, especially if you pair it with Stout. Then that's like 75% knockback resistance. Wow. I didn't realize how much that actually was. But anyway, so this is the... Oh, also, I forgot to mention subspecies. Gotta do the subspecies. Never do attack. The attack one's not worth it unless you like how it looks. Always go with defense. The defense sub is so good on this thing because you get 5%, another 15. It's just really... And that is basically the casual build you want to use for DB Giga. Your build should look something like this. This is like, if you don't want to try too much and you're not too confident with it, just go ahead and use this. Feel free to use the Charge Bite, actually. The Charge Bite might be helpful to some people. You know, if you find Charge Bite, it's a lot easier to land. Like a bite like this, if you find this easier to land than the Flesh Grazing, then by all means do that. You can hold it for a while, does good damage, good bleed, but the cooldown's pretty long for how long the status effect lasts. I always just personally prefer using Flesh Graze. It can be annoying to hit with, but if you get it right, oh, it's fantastic. Something I like to do with Flesh Graze is use it, and then turn around, smack someone with my tail, pushes them away whilst I do the animation. By the way, if you miss it, the animation's a lot shorter, so that's also pretty good. But if you actually hit it, you would be chewing on the piece of meat. You can tail attack whilst you're doing that, and push them away whilst you're finishing it. It's pretty nice. Anyway, so I'm going to show you guys a little clip of me doing a 1v1 with this build, just to show you guys how a DB Giga fight would normally go. Alright, so here I am, about to fight this T-Rex with my Giga. Let's go. Right, we're going to want to avoid that. Hit him with the tail attack. Oh, never mind, he's got his buff. Okay, he's immune to knockback, he got his buff. Right, stack that, there we go. He should be able to be pushed back soon. There we go. Oh, he fractured us, that's not good. Right, we might have to run him with the Flesh Graze. Right, there we go, Flesh Graze him, get away from him whilst we swallow that. Push him with the tail. Oh, we didn't quite get that bash. And he fully bone broke us. That's not good. There we go. Right, we did lose our bashes stacked, but it's not over. There we go. There we go. Right. Oh, I think we've got this. Yeet! There we go. That was a good fight. Not the best T-Rex, but that was pretty good. So, that is how you use the normal build on the Divine Beast GIGANOTOSAURUS. Alright, so now that you've seen me use the generic build that most people would probably use for their GIGANOTOSAURUS, I want to show you the funny build, the one that actually I think is pretty hard to pull off properly. And that is, of course, the Bloodlust build, which, you know, I can already see the comments. It's OP! Takes no damage, it's so OP! Now, yes, it takes no damage for 30 seconds, but is it OP? No, because of how easy it is to counter. Do you want to know the counter for it? Walk away. Or run away. That is the counter. So, anyway, what you want to do to change your build is you want to take off Southern Tyrant, slap on Bloodlust, take off the Enraged Charge, and put on Stout. Then you want to have Gritty Scales. You need Gritty Scales to make this work. And then you also want to change your subspecies to one of the Stamina ones. Let's go with this one. It looks like a Jurassic World Aloe. Looks pretty cool. So, you want to have this as your build. Now, why do you need all this stamina? Well, Bloodlust uses 65 stamina points. Giga only has 100, so you need all of this 28% bonus stamina in order to basically chase after your target with Bloodlust. Because otherwise, the counter of running away is much easier to do, as well as tail knockback. That's where the Stout comes in, take less knockback, as well as the Bone Break heal, because you can't use Bloodlust whilst you're fractured, which sucks, but I guess it makes it less OP. But anyway, the way you actually use Bloodlust is you don't want to use it immediately. If you use it immediately, you've fallen off, you flopped, you basically said GG. So what you want to do is bite someone, and then whilst you're maybe half health-ish, maybe you can use it a bit lower, but the closer you get to 15%, the more you want to use it. Not because it is any stronger, but basically just because if you use it at 15%, people can bite you during the animation for Bloodlust, which then makes your health below 15% and then you die to the ability. So you want to use it pretty much. Oh, that was a misclick. You want to use it basically about half health, maybe a bit more. Depends what you're actually fighting. Against small things, never use it. Never use it against small things. Always use it against big things. Never like an Argent or a Pato. It is useless against those, but other Apexes like 5 slots. That is where it shines. Now, you want to use Bloodlust when you're about half health. Make sure you keep as much stamina as possible. You would then pop Bloodlust like this. There you go. And then you would, normally you'd flesh graze your target, but I wasted it. And that would basically take away some of their stamina, whilst your stamina has been drained by 65 points. But you should have tons left due to your build, which you can see I can still run for a good while. It's pretty nice, actually. So once you've done that, the screen effect did go away. That just comes with the ability. That did go away, but it's still active. And once you've done that, you just want to chase them down, stay on their tail, or just whatever you do, just keep attacking them. You only have 30 seconds to kill them. If that 30 seconds is up, you're on 15% health. 2 Rex bites and you're dead. So you want to kill your target quickly, especially if it's a T-Rex. But yeah, if it's something quicker than you, I would not recommend using it. Like, even against a Barsboldia, do not use Bloodlust. They will just run away from you, wait it out, bam, you die, you fall over. So yeah, that is basically how you use Bloodlust. Now, I'm going to show you me using it in an actual fight in a clip right here. Alright, here I am fighting the same T-Rex again, this time with a Bloodlust build. So, I didn't actually change my subspecies, whoops. I'm sure that won't matter too much. Right. Oh god, we can't use Bloodlust whilst we have Fracture, so hopefully fully bone breaks us, then we can get rid of that. But for now, we just want to keep him away. There we go. There we go. He's fully bone broken us. Now that might sound like a bad thing, but that is what we want. And, ooh, we can actually use it. Okay, right. I'm going to hit him with the Flesh Graze. There we go. And Bloodlust. There we go. Right. Okay. This is where this Rex dies. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. T-Rex. Now, there is currently a bug in the game where stamina and modded dinosaurs drain super quickly, so the fact that I'm using a stamina build doesn't actually help me much, but this T-Rex isn't running away, they're trying to tank it for some reason, and just like that, Bloodlust worked perfectly. And that is basically all I can give you for the Divine Beast Giga in terms of how to play it, and what builds you should generally try and go for. Now, you can switch up the subs however you want. They're not too important, but they definitely can be life or death, especially in Mirror 1v1, where someone's using the same dinosaur as you. Subspecies generally do carry those. But that is pretty much everything for the Divine Beast Giga. Again, I could have shown you the bleed build, but it would literally just be keep blood soaked on, put gouging bite, and maybe sanguine snap, and that's about it. That's the only difference, as well as a bleed sub. But anyway, that is going to be everything for this video. If you enjoyed or found this useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out, and hopefully I helped you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.